Gentlemen, let's be honest for a moment. If your entire approach is just random movement and hoping for the best, then chances are she's not fully enjoying the experience the way you think she is. And I'm not saying that to criticize you. I'm saying it because most men were never actually taught how this works. They pick things up from the wrong places, assume more movement means better results, and completely miss what actually matters. So if you're here, that already puts you ahead, because it means you're willing to understand, improve, and actually pay attention. Now here's something important you need to understand right from the start. When everything is working properly, you don't have to ask if she enjoyed it. You can feel it. She can feel it. The entire energy changes. There's no confusion. That's the standard we're aiming for. Let's start with the part most men completely rush past, the build-up. A lot of guys treat the beginning like it's just something to get through quickly so they can move on to the main part. But that mindset alone is where everything starts going wrong. Because the reality is, her body doesn't work like an on-off switch. There's a process, a gradual shift. Her body needs time to respond. Blood flow needs to increase. Her nervous system needs to move from neutral into a state where it can actually feel and amplify sensation. Without that, nothing else works properly. So instead of rushing, you slow down. You take your time. You let anticipation build naturally. Small details matter here. Light touches, pauses, moments where nothing happens except presence. That's where the real connection begins. Because attraction and comfort don't come from speed. They come from feeling. And when that foundation is there, everything that follows becomes more intense without needing extra effort. Now let's talk about something almost nobody explains properly: consistency. Most men think they need to constantly change what they're doing to keep things interesting. They switch patterns, speed, pressure, direction, thinking variety is the key. But in reality, it does the opposite. When her body starts responding to something specific, it begins building momentum. That momentum is what leads to a peak experience. And the moment you change what's working, that momentum resets. That's why consistency matters more than creativity. Once you find something she's responding to, you stay there. You don't rush, you don't switch, you let it build naturally. That steady rhythm is what allows her body to fully respond. Now here's another part most men don't recognize. Sensitivity changes. What feels good at one moment can suddenly feel too intense the next. This is where awareness matters more than technique. You start paying attention to her body language, small signals, subtle changes. Is she relaxing into the moment or pulling away slightly? Is her breathing steady or tense? These signs tell you everything you need to know, and instead of stopping completely, you adjust. You slow down, you reduce intensity, you give her system a moment to reset, then gradually build again. That ability to adapt in real time, that's what separates someone average from someone who truly understands what they're doing. Now let's talk about a few things that quietly ruin the experience without most men realizing it. The first one is being completely silent and disconnected. If you're physically present but mentally somewhere else, she feels that immediately. People don't just respond to actions, they respond to energy. Being present, engaged, and genuinely interested makes a huge difference. The second mistake is turning everything into a performance. The moment it feels like there's pressure to achieve something, the entire experience changes. Instead of relaxing and feeling, she starts thinking. And once someone is in their head instead of in the moment, everything becomes harder. So instead of focusing on outcomes, you focus on connection. You stay present. You enjoy the moment without rushing toward a result. And the third mistake, overcomplicating everything. Most people think it's about learning advanced techniques or tricks, but in reality, it's about awareness, patience, and consistency. Less overthinking, more presence. Now here's something that takes everything to another level. Using your hands and overall body presence to create a sense of stability and connection. Simple contact, like holding or guiding gently, creates a grounding effect. It helps her stay in the moment instead of drifting into distraction. And then there's communication. It doesn't have to be complicated or scripted. Even simple, natural expressions of appreciation and enjoyment can completely shift the energy. Because at the end of the day, attraction isn't just physical, it's emotional, it's psychological, it's about feeling desired, safe, and connected at the same time. And when all of that aligns, everything becomes easier, more natural, more powerful. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. It's not about doing more. It's about doing things with more awareness, more patience, and more intention. When you slow down, stay consistent, and actually pay attention, everything changes, because the difference between average and unforgettable isn't technique, it's presence. And once you understand that, you don't need to guess anymore. You just respond. And that's where everything shifts.